since you said that daily life now is so different from the way it was before, how can we as citizens begin to rebuild our home lives and our work lives?
That's a very good question. I guess if I could get the easy part out of the way first and say the work life, we've sort of covered a lot of that in that they've got to prepare themselves for what's ahead. They've got to prepare themselves for competition. They've got to prepare themselves to try and win their old job back. Okay? The job they've sat in for many years, they've got to try and win it back again. But the employer won't take them back if they haven't improved their skills. Because the employer, as I said, knows now that they need different skilled people. Now, one of the very good things about this has been that it's brought people and families back together again. What I'm noticing is fathers and mothers are spending time with their children. They're homeschooling them and doing all sorts of things they haven't done before because the fathers and mothers have been too busy. You know, they're just running here, running there, not spending time. So one of the foundations that is vital to build right now for all families is to build that solid family foundation. Why? Because that solid foundation is what's going to help them get through the next layer of this journey. The next layer of the journey is going to be what could be described as one of the most difficult layers ever approached by humans in this day and age, and that is by getting their job back and getting their life back. And also another thing that I realise is in this world, we've all, and I've been guilty of it myself, always trying to be like, life is like a triangle and everyone's trying to get to the top of the triangle. We all want to be boss. Okay? Everyone wants to be boss. Well, those days have changed. They're changed now. Really, it doesn't matter. It does not matter what job you've got as long as you're able to feed your family and you're able to have a good life together, yeah? Because at the end of the day, as we know, family comes first. Family is what life's all about. Job is number two. But we seem to have lost along the way, we've lost a lot of the old ways of doing things. We're seeing children over here now playing in the backyard, you know, digging holes, doing all sorts of inventive type things. Where before, they started to lose that. They started to gain the use of technology. They wanted to just play with technology. So my answer to your question is the fact that, first off, get the family foundation strong and solid for what lays ahead. Secondly, you are letting your family down if you're not upskilling yourself to prepare yourself for the future. So that's all part intertwined what it's all about. Now, I'm very fortunate, as I said, because I can get out of here now and I can go walking. I can go to the beach and have a swim. I can walk to the shops. I can walk to the river, which is not far away. I can do things, but there's no, and out in the streets, they're very, very empty, and it's quite eerie. But it's just the way things are. And after the Spanish flu, we've all heard of the Spanish flu, it took over 4 years. 4 years before people started to feel comfortable to get into large groups again of people. But that was then. But now we've got better medicines, hopefully. We'll have a better antibody and, formulas, whatever, for hopefully to help eradicate this virus. But humans, you can see now, they're very frightened. Walking along the street, people will jump the other way and they'll cross over. Or you'll go into a shop and you go walk there and all of a sudden they all run in different directions. There's a fear. People have to overcome the fear, use common sense, like Western Australia is doing right now. We have the lowest number of people that have died. We have the low number of infections when we can get a 0 day, which we've had starting, our curve is going down. That is people working together. Albeit we have put one person in jail, as I said, for 30 days for breaking the laws of coming out of his hotel when he's in quarantine. So just got to be serious. It's about everyone working together. Did that answer your question? It's more build the foundations of family and prepare yourself for the next stage of your working life.
Yes, sir. So thank you for that one. My next question is, since many companies have now transitioned to work from home or online, and then some universities, educational institutions have sorted to e-learning, online learning, what are your recommendations for CEOs, presidents, executives, educational leaders around the world?
I'm a great believer in e-learning, great believer. We have now started virtual classroom delivery and training, because if you actually think about in Asia, or right across Asia, and even the Philippines and India and Indonesia and places I go to, the amount of lost productivity and time for people traveling, it's not helping their economy very much at all. It's not helping the environment. Speaking quickly of environment, see China now, it's clear blue skies. And a lot of countries that everyone's been trying to clean the environment up, just keeping people off the road is one thing. So back to the student. The student needs to be educated. That's what our job, and everyone in education, is to educate people, prepare them for the workforce so they can go on and be successful. So a lot of people learn. There was resistance to online learning, and we know because in Australia we've been doing online. In Australia now, 94% of all our students do our online courses, 94%. But at the very start, they weren't interested. No, they want to fight, right? There is a saying by Gandhi, and this is how life goes with change. First, they will ignore you. Secondly, they will laugh at you. Thirdly, they will fight you, argue with you. And fourth, they will do it. Okay? So I always say to people, why are you wasting all those times from resisting? Why not just go and do it and make it happen? All right? So online learning will be able to reach into places. If we look at a place like Indonesia, 4,000 islands, there is no way humanly possible that they could service 4,000 islands with the latest education, whatever. It'd be impossible. There are a lot of people cannot afford to travel to university, schools and colleges. And if you have a look at the simple fact of, let's look at the old, simple one like continual professional development. How many countries have tried to get that going only to see it fail because of the strong resistance of the people of those countries involved with not wanting to do their upskilling? Now, that is easily solved. I hear stories from people, my friends in Philippines told me they have to go to a hotel somewhere and they've got to spend all this money and they've got to pay for accommodation, they've got to be away from work for a week, etc. It's too expensive. And I said, no, you sit home and do it when you want to do. When you want to study, you should study. And most people would like that. Most people go online from 5 o'clock at night to 10:30 at night. That's when most people are on. Or most people will study on Saturday and Sundays, and that's because that's when it suits them. It's not when it suits the university or the school or anyone for them to turn up. It's when it suits them to do that. And what we've done with our new app, we've built the ability for people to either do online examinations on their mobile device, read their notes online or offline, but we've also built the ability for the universities to have what we call study centre areas where they can ask people to tend to a certain centre somewhere, not necessarily at the university, somewhere, and they can be walking there and the person supervising will print a report out, verify they are, give them a number, they go over and do the exam, all right? So you've got to stop this centralisation and trying to drag people. I know it's difficult. for people like university, schools and colleges who have built their whole business models around it. And today, if you read any of my writings, you'll see the universities in Australia are really in trouble, as we said, because their model has changed. And they want to take it back to the old, come on, you come to my classroom, where students know, and a lot of people go, no, we don't do that anymore. We want to do it this way. And if all the unis and that around the place continue that way, it will be a little bit difficult. So, is that enough of that one, or did I miss any? Ask me. Tell me if I missed any, because sometimes I talk too much.
Thank you. And next would be, what is your forecast, or what is your opinion about the future trends of academia be affected and influenced by the current situation?
Well, as I said, I firmly believe if we take it further, it's under massive pressures to change. All right, I have to. They've got no past this point. Universities could not go and operate the same way they have yesterday, tomorrow. It won't work. All right, there's too much being handed back, too much power handed back to the student, to the learner. So we, as an example, with virtual classrooms. Now, if you think about it in, say, in Australia, my business model, in every state of Australia, we would have employed trainers to go to a classroom to teach people. Yeah. Well, with virtual classrooms, we only need one trainer to deliver to all the states in Australia at the same time. Plus, you record that training so that other people can go and watch it as well when they're doing their studies, so that it helps them. They don't have to actually turn up, but we'll allow them to watch it. So now it's going to get down to who is the best trainers. Who is the best trainers in each country? They are the ones who get the jobs, unless the others upskill themselves to take those jobs. So we look at that part. So then we go from the way that if you think about teaching, if I had control of the teaching, this is what I'd do. I'd say, teachers, your job is to teach, nothing else. Huh? Nothing else. So what we want you to do, go in the classroom, here's your lessons all prepared for you, here's your exam all prepared for you, but put it all in your own words. Do it the way you want to deliver it, but that's the subject matter all done. So that takes all that job off them. Then what we would do is say, with technology, you can actually program during the day, you can put in results and whatever, and update records of every student in your classroom. You can walk in, a teacher can walk in the next day, not having to worry about doing any homework or assessing or marking for students, can walk in the next day, turn the computer on and go, look at the list and go, this person's struggling, this person's struggling, this person's struggling. And then they can go and spend their time with them. Because even in my own country, there are people coming out of schools, colleges and universities that should not have got that far because of their lacking of skills. And the only way to fix that is to take the pressure off the teachers, take all that assessing off the teachers, even report writing. Now, a lot of teachers I speak to, they go, but we have to have that, we have that. I go, no, you don't. Let it go, let it go. All right? So that is another area that is ripe and open to change. Okay? So you've got the teachers, you've got the virtual classrooms where we will deliver into Philippines and all countries overseas, we will deliver Australian qualifications from an Australian qualified trainer sitting in Melbourne or wherever. Okay? So what that does, it helps people, rather than them spending big money to come to Australia to go for education, they can do it in their own house or wherever they want to do it. Or they can do like a diploma or whatever at home, and then come to Australia and get credits, like 1 year off a university or whatever, all right? So it saves them money. Foreign students pay too much money to go to other countries to pay for courses that other people potentially are getting a little bit cheaper, right? So it's got to be a fairness game. Now, another thing I'm working on is what we call, we've got a bot, as you know, and that takes a lot of training. So it's like teaching the technology all the answers. Another thing we're looking at now is through augmented reality, basically, artificial intelligence, is to get the technology to do the assessing. Okay? Now, what does that mean? That means that if someone is doing an exam or assessment, they'll type their answer and upload it, and the machine will go, yeah, pass, or no, not enough. Okay? Now, that's quite scary when you think about it, but the problem is what every country is in trouble with, including Australia, and every business model. People say to me in Australia, who is your competitors? And I go, I don't have any. They don't. Oh, don't be silly. You must have competitors. I said, no. My competitors are the big six: Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alibaba, and whoever the other one was. Okay? In your countries, they're your biggest competitors. Everything that gets done. Amazon has a plan, where it's spreading all around the world. Alibaba, last Singles Day in November last year, paid $32 billion in 24 hours, 48-hour sales. I mean, that's huge, all right? So they're the ones that, to stay in the game of what we're in, we all have to look at our business models, ask what we're doing, how we can do it better, and that's what it's all about. It's about change, and change quickly. That's why I have to keep experimenting with, as much as I don't like to, artificial intelligence. I'm part of the AR/VR Association, which I'm watching them now. They're building, they look like humans, okay, and they are going to have them in banks and everywhere. So when you come through on your computer, up comes this person. Sometimes you can't even tell the difference. And they'll say, oh, how are you going? Look, by the way, we've got all this investment. You've got this investment, we've got that happening. We can look after this and do all that. And people will accept them in time. They will accept them because, as we say, robots and that sort of inventions is already understanding and behaving like humans. Right? That's where the humans have to say, hang on a minute, we better start changing and changing quickly, because these things aren't just going to sit there. They're learning every day. So if their competition's learning every day, we as humans must also learn every day something new, more soft skills. So that I can see radical changes happening in education. I can also, to be honest with you, I can see a lot of fighting and resistance and stuff. Remember those 4 steps I just told you about? You watch those steps till eventually they'll go, all right, okay, let's do it. Right? But they've got to be careful why they fight, what those 4 steps happening. They've got to be careful that, say, the big 6 don't come along and go snap, 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 because they're already offering free education. Google, whatever, offering free education. They're offering all sorts of things. So how will an education institution compete when they need money, compete against people who are giving away things for nothing? That's what they've got to do. It can be solved. Everyone can solve it, but they've got to want to do it. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Any more?
Mr. Jim.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, different perspective. Would you like to add any personal advice on handling the crisis, or do you think you've covered those different, any last words on those?
Just the personal one on advice. It's more about do what you're told to do. Don't be sneaky and run around outside when you're not supposed to, or don't go to places you're not supposed to go. Do what your government wants you to do. because the government does know better, because they're involved with other governments talking. Make sure, as I said, you build your foundations with your family strong again. Show the kids, who you are. Also, feed your brains with knowledge, skills. There are other tips that we've got here. One thing I didn't realise when I went to the beach each morning and having a swim, we're using the shower at the beach. You go to the beach, stand in the water, always careful not to touch the taps or anything, like punching the buttons. So a nurse who lives in the apartments where we live, she said it is dangerous to go near the shower water when someone's showering, because the virus spreads quickly in the water. Spreads, okay, through the thing. It doesn't mean you can't go and drink water, but you don't go to the taps and that on the beach or around the streets where they have drinking taps. You don't go and use those anymore because of the virus. But you just got to be very careful what you do. In Australia, they tell us don't wear masks. In Asia, a lot of people wear masks, right? So that's a decision thing. Always make sure, the 30-second hand washing, as we all know, all those things that we've seen, you've got to do it. And you get better value out of water and soap than you do out of the alcohol-lined hand washes. So, yeah, they're just simple things that I've learned. And I've learned if you've got to be locked down, you've got to be locked down. You've got to go through, like I did in my 14 days. It's not easy when you look out the window and see still some people who haven't been locked down walking around or doing whatever. But I'm very fortunate. I've got where I sit here, just off to there. I've got these lovely trees, and I get all these birds coming all the time, and trees, different types. And what I felt like was I was uncaged, and they were free. So it was like a reversed role of humans versus animals, right? We're locked up and they're running around the place. Dogs, cats, birds, everything. They've got a freedom. We don't have it. So we have to be careful to move forward and protect that freedom that we've all got and appreciate what we've got when we come out of this. Because out of this will come many, many sad stories. There's already stories of death. But there will also be stories of many businesses not making the journey. Okay, so yeah, do what you're supposed to do, and build yourself up and your family. Yeah.
And then any words of wisdom to inspire or motivate our fellow RI members?
Okay. If you don't mind, if I did write something down. What did I do after lockdown? Quarantine 14 days, return. Really, I can't actually find the words, but I guess what I could say, I'm always a great one for giving quotes and saying things and whatever. And when I saw your question, I tried to think about what would I say? Look, at the end of the day, there is too many things you could say with wise words of wisdom. And if we go on to Facebook and LinkedIn and everything all day long, we're getting a big barrage of those things all the time. So my real thing would be true to yourself, be true to the journey, be true to your family. But that person in the mirror that looks back at you in the mirror every day, that person is responsible. That person is responsible for your life moving forward from today. All right? No one else's responsibility but your own. Right? So that's what I'd sort of leave on this on, because yeah. Don't let the resistance stop you from where you should be and where you should be going.
Nice to hear from you about what is going on and your views about how to re-engineer the delivery of instruction. course,
Yes.
you are doing that already in your programs.
Yes, I'll have that by tomorrow or the next day. You'll have the marketing ready for the rollout of the certification, and I'm also been waiting for a company who's putting together all the recognised prior learning documents, so that we'll be able to progress to that as well, just to make things happen. And the Royal Institute is such a vital part of this journey now, with the ability for international certification, as we've talked about in the thing, to give people a chance, an opportunity to compete against the large numbers that they'll be up against. So, yeah.
Hopefully, we can roll on the programs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will be good. So
nice to hear from you. Hopefully, we will have another chance to exchange ideas and thoughts.
No worries. I'm always around to assist where required. And all right. Thank you very much.
Talk to you again.
Thank you very much.
Stay
Thank you. Thank you
God
very
bless.
much.
Stay
God
safe.
bless.
Yes,
God bless.
stay safe.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Bye.